Angela has the first question. And her question is, if I check my listing each day for hijackers, new reviews, etc., will I be penalized by Amazon's algorithm because the sale does not convert? Great question, Angela. The good thing is that Amazon's algorithm is sophisticated enough where it already recognizes your IP address or wherever it is that you've been connected through. It's going to recognize that. So it would not impact your overall listing in any way. In addition to that, the same is true if, say, you clicked on your own PPC, because I know that's another question that that I've heard, is if like you accidentally clicked on your PPC, would that impact you? Odds are that it would not impact you, just because of the algorithm is sophisticated enough to kind of filter out your IP address. Now, if you're moving around location to location, then it may have to readjust. But they they know what we're doing, and they know where we're at all times. So yeah, you should be good there. Now let's see here. Angela asks the next question: should I look for a 3PL that is centrally located? So when you're working with a 3PL, Angela, my suggestion is make sure it's one that is broad enough where they have warehouses almost like Amazon FBA, right? Where they have warehouses on the East Coast, and the Midwest and the West Coast. So that way there, you can allocate your inventory to throughout the United States. In some instances, it's funny how things work out, because you may get more sales like in, say, like on the East Coast side of things, right? Like in the Northeast. And so you should be able to just send the vast majority of your inventory to on the East Coast side. And so that's why I say that most 3PLs will have multiple warehouses. The smaller 3PLs will be centrally located. To answer your question there, there's nothing against that, and that's probably why you're saying if it's centrally located, then in that case that's fine. But like I said, the larger 3PL services will be scattered. So let's see here. Next question by Angela. Angela asks, I'm concerned my cartons and products inside have been damaged. They are in a warehouse in California. I would like to send an independent third party to check the products. Is anyone aware of a company that would offer such a service? If so, I would appreciate the company's detail. I asked the warehouse to send me photos 2 weeks ago, and they have been too busy to send them, which concerns me. That is concerning that they can't send photos. However, right now I will say it is kind of the state of affairs. These third-party logistics companies are really swamped, and so it does present the challenge. Even Amazon itself is obviously running very slow, so it's not surprising. So that's why I say, because that is kind of the current state of affairs throughout, with shipping times and delays, port congestions. It's just this pandemic, we're still kind of working through it, and so it's really stopped like the logistical part of shipping. So it put a lot of things on hold, or delays, I should say. So yeah, that's not. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what's happening. There are companies that can inspect. I'll drop something in the comments. I'll follow up with you on this, and drop a service that can go out and inspect your products. So that will be, you can look for that. Then Brett asks here, let's see, he has a next question. I'm trying to upload images, but nothing seems to go through. The first image that I uploaded for the main image uploaded okay, but now none of the images I send will upload. Not sure what the issue is. The message says, if approved, they will appear in 15 minutes, but nothing ever shows. How can I find out what the issue is? I've had that happen to me as well, Brett. Sometimes it's just a technical glitch. And depending on the time of day that you did it, and if there was some sort of system update, I find that I just continue to upload, and then eventually they show up. If you're listing, if the images were not approved, you would be notified. So I don't think that that's the issue. Worst case scenario, I would reach out to seller support and just explain what's happening, open up a ticket, and they'll be able to help you along the way. I've had to do that as well at different stages. So yeah, it's unfortunate that we run into these issues on Seller Central, and it's not the most intuitive and the nicest system, the nicest UI, user interface, or user experience for that. But like I said, I don't believe that this is an issue of your listing being suppressed or the images being suppressed. I think it's more a technical glitch. So reach out to seller support if it continues, but keep trying. And then if not, the next phase would be to reach out to seller support. Yeah. Let's go ahead, and it looks like those are the pre-submitted questions from earlier this week. Let me go ahead and jump into the questions that you all are dropping now. So let's see here. Hey, how's it going, everyone? I see that everybody's just chiming in on the sounds working. Awesome. Let's see here. Question. I have brand registry. I changed my listing brand to match my brand registry. I'm having issues connecting to brand registry benefits such as store and early reviewer program, but I have access to A+ content and buying. What do you recommend? Because it seems like my ASIN is not connected to all the brand registry benefits. Yes, and it's because this happened after the fact. The only way to resolve that is to go through seller support. So sorry to say that. I know I wish there was an easier way, but the only way that could get corrected is that seller support will have to work on that. In particular, the team that's devoted to brand registry. So you just reach out to them and they can resolve this issue for you. Same thing, I've had that happen as well, and that was the only way I could resolve it. There's nothing that we could do in the portal to fix this. So yeah, let's see here. Cool, let me go ahead and get to the next question. Hussein asks, I have the problem in selecting my product due to high shipping costs is almost 40%, and FBA costs 45%, product costs 20%. I'm already in loss. I tried many different products, but the results are the same. Am I missing out on something? Please help. Great question. Yeah, definitely that would not be something that I would pursue if that's what the numbers are showing. Let me drop a link. We actually just yesterday put out a video on YouTube that dove into product research, and it was by our team members Jake and Lenny, and it's an excellent video. I think that that's a good starting point because there's some advanced tactics that they share, and I think that it'll be worth your while to go through this. Let me just look it up and find it for you. So definitely everyone here should watch that if you didn't get to watch it yesterday. Let me go ahead and pull it up, and I'll just drop it here in the comments. link for y'all. I know the product research phase is the most crucial phase of selling on Amazon. If you don't get this right, then everything else will fail. So don't get discouraged. You're doing the right thing in that you're crunching the numbers. I think that's the most critical thing, is to do the product research, and as part of that, determine what the costs are associated with that. Yeah, don't give up. I think that in this field of selling on Amazon and entrepreneurship as a whole, it's really every day is a learning experience. Every opportunity that you're in there and you're on Jungle Scout's tools, you're learning more. You're learning more advanced tactics. It's becoming first nature for you, and so just take those opportunities and just kind of like build and grow on them. And like I said, we have the resources for y'all to use. And I just dropped one in there for you as well. So let me go ahead and see if there's any more questions coming through. Looks like that's all the questions for now. Looks like we're done. I guess I could call it a day now. Keep dropping your questions. I'll stick around for a little longer. Maybe I'll start doing some song and dance to keep you guys entertained. Definitely take advantage of this time that you have us for an hour. Today I'm flying solo, as you can see. And next week, I believe Cole will be joining me. And we're always trying to cycle through more team members just to get you new perspectives. Yeah, take advantage of this coaching opportunity, and we'll keep bringing you the information you need. Oh, and as the next question, thank you. It's hell going through seller support. I agree. It's such a nightmare. And one of the things that I say often is that, like, if you do get a situation where the person really doesn't understand what you're asking or what you're doing, I typically just cut the call off and try to get the next person. Because it is just it is frustrating, especially when you're working with someone that's maybe a newbie, doesn't even understand the FBA process, and it's just like, yeah, no, okay, thank you, I'll take care of it, and then I just call right back, and get the next person until I get someone knowledgeable enough that will help me with my problem. So it says after, and then Inam goes on and says, after selling a few of my products, what is the next best thing you recommend for me to do? I'm definitely not ready to launch the next product as of yet. I feel like I'm missing something. What's next? Okay. So you're at, correct me if I'm wrong, you're already launched. So you've launched your first product, or you're at the stage where you've launched it and you've sold a few. Let me know, Inam, if you're doing PPC, because I think PPC is the next step. So you've got your product out there, but now you want to get it from page 1000 to page 1. How do you do that quickly? Well, that's going to be through PPC. So then PPC would be your next step here. And so I would set up automatic, at a minimum, an automatic campaign. But then I also recommend setting up two separate campaigns. One's going to be housing 2 ad groups. It's going to be your, one of them is going to have a phrase match ad group, and the other ad group is going to be a broad match type. So you're basically using the same budget. So think of it this way, you're using the same budget, but you're targeting 2 different methods or match types. And so your results are exponential. So that's why I would say definitely starting off with those campaigns, start getting in that data, start allowing Amazon to provide you the keywords that are the most effective for your product. and then start kind of just bringing those keywords also into your listing as well, because it's a very important part of being able to have effective PPC is that your listing and your PPC align. I always talk about how it's like the yin and the yang. They're a marriage. They need to both kind of have definitely your main keywords on both. Definitely you're targeting those keywords there. Okay, so you're doing PPC, it says. Okay, perfect. When do I email campaign, and how do I ask for reviews? What is store on Amazon, and do you use it? Okay, so I'm glad you're doing PPC. Email campaigns, I would not recommend, just because email campaign, typically in the past, you were allowed to maybe include something like a PDF download with instructions for your product or something of that nature as email campaigns, but definitely nothing about requesting reviews, anything of the like. And so gradually Amazon has been doing away with that, but however has been giving us tools and different tools to facilitate the review process. So definitely make sure that in Jungle Scout you have the auto review turned on, and you'll want to make sure, so if you go under marketing and under review automation, there's this little dial that you have to turn on. I would recommend flipping that on so that you're requesting reviews through Amazon through a vetted, like it's a non-black hat method that Amazon has created for Amazon sellers. So I would definitely activate that. That would be my next step. And the reviews, unfortunately, that's the only method that you can really use at the moment without getting in trouble and violating Amazon's terms of service. They've created this. This is something that they instituted, so you're not in any way affecting or impacting your seller account. And what is store on Amazon, and do you use it? I do have a store now. A store is basically, it's like a landing page that's devoted. So you might notice brands, larger brands, like they have a page that's custom made with their products on display, different images being used. So it's just a product page of all your different products that you want to position there. And so the storefront is great if you have multiple products, but if you have one product, it's probably not as effective. And it's used primarily if you're running, it's a great tool for running traffic from external traffic to your products, then that would be ideal, but not like I said, if it's just one ASIN, then your best approach is to go to definitely continue your PPC. And at this stage, if you want to drive more sales, sounds like you already have PPC. Really, like it comes down to optimization. How often do you optimize your PPC campaigns? If you wouldn't mind me asking, because I think that's the stage that you're at before you can venture on and trying to use, say, for example, Facebook ads or Google ads to drive traffic, because those require you to really there's a steep learning curve with Facebook ads or Google ads. You could hire an agency to do that for you, but then now you're kind of like draining a little bit more of your your cash flow, and I wouldn't recommend that. So yeah, unless you're at the stage where you've got multiple products and now you really want to just maximize those opportunities, that's when you would consider external traffic and or even, like I said, an agency to help you manage external traffic, so that you don't have to take the time to learn all that those learning. It's a steep learning curve. All right. Any other questions? Take a sip of my coffee in the meantime. All right. Getting through these questions pretty fast. How's everyone's week so far? Hope everyone's week is going good. Yeah, like I said, I'm just coming off of an ear infection. It's still kind of there. It's kind of lingering. And yeah, so it's been a rough week. But other than that, sleepless nights and trying to just overcome this this earache. Oh wow, my voice is done. Let's see. Is everybody can everyone hear me? If you can hear me, drop a thumbs up or just a little shout out there. I want to make sure that everyone can hear me before I continue on. All right. Let me double check and see if there's any audio issues. It should be. Can you hear me? All right. Looks like my audio is coming through. So let me continue here. Brett has the next question. Brett asks, oh wait, oh my bad. I actually skipped over your follow-up question. And so Nam says, this is the first week running PPC. Can you please repeat the steps for the auto mail on Amazon? Okay. Oh yes, the auto. Okay, so auto review process. It's so when you're in Jungle Scout and you go on the left-hand side, you have your options of the different tools. You click on marketing, and then once you've clicked on marketing, you'll see in there it says review automation. Once you click on review automation, there's going to be a little dial that you switch on. Here, actually, let me just show. Let me see if this displays. 1 second. We'll just do a quick screen share for y'all. Let me know if you could see this now. Pulling it up right now. This is a demo account that we have here, and all I'm saying is just click over here. You're in Jungle Scout. Go to marketing, and then review automation. Just turn this little dial on. Right now, you're not gonna see any of these charts, none of this information. You're just going to see the little dial grayed out. Then you'll want to make sure that your Amazon keys are in there, which they should be by now. And then you turn this little dial on, and it will just automate the process of requesting reviews. And this is, like I said, this is completely legit. It's basically a button that Amazon put in Seller Central next to your orders. You probably have noticed it, where you can request a review. Rather than you having to go in and click every one, we're just going to automate that process for you. So hopefully that helps there. All right, let's see here. So yeah, and I would at this stage, kind of just circling back to your previous questions, just really double down on PPC, learn everything there is to learn about PPC. In fact, let me see here if I can give you a little breakdown that will help you. Just 1 moment. I'll pull it up. I just put together this. Well, I've had this little chart that I tend to reference just to give a little visualization of how I build campaigns. But give me one moment. I'm trying to pull it up here. Kind of. Appreciate the patience that y'all have for me. So here we're going to go into a little bit of PPC talk. So I hope you guys are cool with that. So this is just an example of how I run PPC. You know, there's more than one way that you could run PPC. Like there's several right ways you could do it. There's definitely wrong ways that you could do it. And this is the method that I prefer. It's the most hands-off-ish, if that's a word. Let me see. Is it sharing? Okay, yes, it is sharing. Sorry, I didn't know if my screen was being shared or not. Technical issues, as always. Let's see here. All right, I think we got this now. So as you can see here, this is the breakdown of how I would structure my PPC campaign. So this is going to be great for you now since you're just getting started. I would have, like I said, 2 campaigns to start out with. Your first campaign is going to be an auto campaign. At a minimum of $20 would be the budget that I would recommend. That's what Amazon suggests. That's what it says suggested daily budget, $20. There's a reason why they state that. So I would just start there. If you have more budget, then it doesn't hurt. It's just going to give you more exposure. Should help your PPC campaigns to get more data initially in the early stages. So if you haven't created the structure, I would pause all campaigns. If it doesn't hurt it, just pause all your campaigns and build it out this way. So you've got your first campaign, auto campaign. That's easy to set up, easy enough to set up. Literally not a whole lot of steps in there. And then you have your second campaign, which is, this is going to be a manual campaign. And within the manual campaign, there's going to be 2 ad groups. And as you can see here, your first ad group is going to be a broad match ad group. And then your second ad group is going to be a phrase match type. So basically these 2, because they're ad groups, they're not campaigns, they're just like a tier below, right? Then they use the same budget. They're going to be using the same budget. So if you're using $20, $20 is spread throughout these campaigns. So it's just a way to save a little money as well, that you don't have $20 for just a broad match campaigns and $20 for a phrase match campaign, and then ultimately another, this third campaign is going to have that $20 budget spend. So I'm trying to save you guys a little money here. Then I wouldn't go crazy with the keywords. I would use my main keywords that I'm targeting on my listing. I would drop those keywords in here, and I would say anywhere from 10 to 20 keywords max. Don't go crazy putting in hundreds of keywords. It's only going to be a headache and a nightmare to manage. Think about it this way: broad match types will target a plethora of. It's going to try to find keywords for you. So using a broad match type is going to give you exponential results. Then when you do a phrase match, you couple that with a phrase match, same thing. It's going to have exponential possibilities of keywords or search terms that people are typing in. So that's why I say just put your top 10 to 20 keywords here, and those same exact top 10 to 20 keywords that you use, drop them in this with a phrase match type. Doing that really will solve the nightmare that PPC can be, and like I said, it's gonna definitely provide you some great results. So now these are your research campaigns. They're essentially researching for you. They're trying to find what is it that the person is typing in that eventually is converting, right? In this case, let's say Jungle Snugs is just a hypothetical product here. I might say, my main keyword would be hooded baby towel, right? So in a broad match sense, it might look for, I don't know, there's different words that people use, like it could be like a cloth, drying cloth for baby. And that would be acceptable in broad match type. It would be, if someone's typing that and they convert, Well, guess what? You want to take that keyword. After running this for 2 weeks, you're going to find the best performing keyword search terms that a customer is actually searching, and then you're going to be able to add those into an exact match type campaign. So this is pretty much the structure. Campaign 1, automatic. Campaign 2, a manual campaign that's broken down into 2 ad groups, which is your broad match type, your phrase match time. You run this for 14 days. This is doing the research work, all getting you those really solid keywords that are search terms that customers are typing to find your product. And then we'll start taking some of those terms and putting them into an exact match type with its own budget, because this is the holy grail. This is what's going to give us the best performance over time. You're always running PPC. This is always searching and researching and trying to find new keywords, because as you can imagine, different things impact the psychology of a search for a person. It could be the time of the year. It could be the season. It could be the hot, different. Throughout the year, people are searching differently, and so that's why you never shut off PPC. Your PPC should be profitable enough where it's giving you the results you need to take your product to the next level. So that's why I say now, this is the focus point right now. Make this like what you just completely and entirely focus on. So I know it's a long-winded way of saying this is where you're at, this is the stage, and this is where I recommend you focus on. Let me see if I can get through some more questions, because I do see a few in here. Hopefully that helped for everyone. All right, let's see. Brett asks, let me move this over here. So when I'm looking over here, I have dual screens. So pay attention to y'all. I got dual screens. Brett asks, when I export keywords from Jungle Scout, many of them show less than 150. Within the less than 150, are they sorted in any order, or is it just random? Great question. So yes, when you're at that range of less than 150, there is really not enough data to substantiate where it falls. So it is in random order. One doesn't perform better than the other. If it's at that point, if it's less than 150 search results, then I would even not consider it. So it's almost like that would be just one that you'd remove. You want some high search, you definitely want to have high search volume. So, so hopefully that answers your question. So yes, it is randomized at that point. Okay, awesome. Yeah, sorry, Hussein, I know that right now I really don't have good audio overall, just because I'm coming off of an ear infection, and so I can't have my AirPods on, which usually are a good microphone, or I'm not over in my recording booth, so audio is a little off. It's just trying to pick up my voice here. All right, Nam, thank you so much. Scary running PPC because I'm losing a lot of money. LOL. Well, hopefully what we went through will solve that problem for you. Now you have a game plan. You know what you need to do, how to structure these. So just pause them and follow that method that I shared with you. Saying how many SKUs is the best number to send to Amazon for the first time. So SKUs, I would say you're typically, for the first time, you're only going to, I would only focus on one product, one variation, like one SKU. I would not go trying to find different variations. It's like you're testing this product, right? We're putting out our feelers to see how people respond to it. If it's getting good response, then we might consider adding more colors and adding more, slight variations to this product. But in the early stages, your first launch, definitely one SKU only. Now, if you're referring to how many units to send in to Amazon, now that's going to come down to breakdown. Like what we typically recommend is to have at a minimum 3 months worth of inventory at Amazon. So if you did your due diligence and you do your homework, you found a product that is selling at a minimum 250 units a month. So it's not too hard to pull that off on your own as well if you're doing, like all the things that we talk about in Freedom Builder Bootcamp, as well as PPC. And so my suggestion, if we're taking, 250 as a number, then, at a minimum, 750 would be the unit count that we want to send into Amazon. Now, what might happen is, to get a really good price from your supplier, they're going to require that you purchase a minimum order quantity, or MOQ, of 1,000 units, and that's not bad. I mean, that works in your favor, because that's probably the first break point of a good price break for you. So then that being the case, then you would want to order 1,000 units and send those into Amazon. Just try to run some good promotions, some initially maybe even have it somewhat deeply discounted, so that people will buy it, and and it'll help your BSR, and so that you could really rank fast. So let's see. Yeah, so that would be my suggestion. Also, keep in mind, I do have to disclaimer: before you place that order with your supplier, make sure that you've built out your listing, and you create your shipping plan. You're just testing it out. There's nothing like set in stone when you're going through this process. You could always delete a shipping plan. You could always, until the point that that you've paid, which is the final step. Then you could go through and you could delete and edit and change things. But with the shipping plan, what you're going to be able to see once you start creating that is how many you can send in, because they do have some limitations. Last year, they set the unit count to 200, but they've loosened that up. Things have improved. In some cases, there isn't restrictions, but it's just on I'd say almost like on a product by product basis, not an account basis, but it's like really like dependent on the particular product that you're listing. So yeah, I would do that first. All right, so Nam asks, do you also use exact match on your campaign structure in the beginning? How many days do you run the PPC to get the data for your exact match in the beginning? So as you recall that little chart that I put out, it's 14 days, because really anything less is not going to give you enough data. So I'd run it for 14 days without the exact match. Like the exact match is at the end. Like the exact match is the holy grail of where we're trying to get to. It's not. So yeah, so it wouldn't be beneficial to try to try to create an exact match, because we really don't know, right? So what we're doing initially in those first 14 days is we're giving Amazon what we think, like our hypothesis of what we think people are searching for our product, but we don't know for sure, because this is, right now it's just the early stages, right? And so then we let it run, and then we say, hey, here you go, Amazon. Then Amazon does its algorithm, does its thing, and tries to find the customers for you. And so that's why, this 14-day window is just like a data gathering. It's just data collection. And now they're giving us and furnishing us with the results. So that's the beauty of PPC, is that literally Amazon is kind of giving us the top performing keywords without the guesswork, because now we could analyze the results and see which ones are performing well and which ones aren't. And you do that by downloading your search term report. And in that search term report, you basically are able to determine what, it'll give you. There's so many columns in there. I think the most important one is to look at, like the conversion rate, and look at also the, I would say, ACoS. The lower the ACoS, the better. So look at the lowest ACoS of the column. Look at the ACoS column. See where it's at. Ideally, you want that to be like the lower the percentage, like under 20% is phenomenal. So if it's under 20%, those keywords are performing well. Those are the ones that you would move over into the exact match campaign, that third campaign on day 14, right? So yeah. So Brett asked the next question. I thought the keyword research and jungle stuff for the same product would give you many exact match keywords. Shouldn't you use them in the beginning? Great question. So yes, you should use those as the keywords that you're initially going to target for your PPC and your listing. So don't get me wrong, but remember, every product has some slight difference. Some, like your competitors and the product you're building, everything is so different. So no matter what you do in terms of like, we are still guessing, but it's not just a guess, like, throwing spaghetti at the wall. This is a data-driven assumption, right? There's assumptions that are just completely like out of nowhere that we think that which we don't want to use. We want a data-driven approach. And so this is a data-driven approach, but we refine this process by what we talked about with PPC and finding other search terms, because you'll be surprised at what people type in to land on your product and then ultimately buy, and it's just, like think of when you go shopping. Sometimes I really don't know what I want on Amazon. So I'll just like type like a random, like I'm looking for, just say like I'm traveling and I want, a neck pillow, but like I really don't know what color I want. I really don't know like what shape. So I might, like in my early stage or my early like buyer journey, I'll just go on Amazon. I'll be like neck pillow. But then the more I explore, I see that there's, these ergonomic neck pillows that with like satin sheen and all this and that. So then my search result is not going to be, I'm not going to just, this is the way I shop on Amazon. I don't know if this is the way y'all shop on Amazon. My search result isn't going to be, oh, okay, now I'm just going to continue to scroll. No, now I'm going to type satin ergonomic neck pillow. So now that's what you call a long tail search term. I started with neck pillow, but now I'm getting very specific. And so those are the ones that convert the best, because now, and then I might even be like, wait, no, I liked it in gray or blue, navy blue. So I might say navy blue ergonomic neck pillow for travel size. And it's like really long. But now my search result really just gives me like the best performing or the best products with that keyword, right? And so now I can, the moment I click on that first one, that's like the Amazon's best, or, and so on, and the first top 10, whatever. Now I'm ready to buy. So that's why I say the seller understanding like that, yeah, you're going to have like an initial idea, like, oh, okay, neck pillow, that's a keyword that I want to target. But if I put it in my PPC neck pillow in a broad match, that means that it's going to explore, like it's going to show my listing even to the person that's typing ergonomic, satin ergonomic neck pillow navy blue. So now if that's the phrase that just keeps like, anybody that types that in just keeps selling, then now I can just drop that long tail keyword into my exact match campaign. Hopefully that helps some there. Okay, let's see, we got a little more time left. Okay, since I'm since I'm someone learned by watching others, do you recommend a mentor who can teach me the Amazon business face to face? And how do I find someone like that? What did you do when you started in the beginning, when you started? Sorry, I'm full of questions. No, I mean, this is what this time is for. You do have me face to face now every week. So continue to jump on these calls and continue to ask your questions. That's what this is for. There's no question that should not be asked. I know that people hold back, and I think that there's no question that should not be asked. That's what this time is for. To be quite honest, these groups are so small enough that you don't have to pay for that face-to-face. And to be quite honest, in addition to that, I think with Freedom Builder Bootcamp, you have everything you need. I mean, you have a support team that you could reach out to at, that's available to you 24/7. You have us weekly. You have the community, the Freedom Builder Bootcamp community. And I would say the best thing, because yes, someone could literally like walk you through step by step. But I find that the best learning for me, and this is a skill that like I think that is like pays off in dividends, is the ability to do your own research and like dig deep, because you're going to find that like it's going to only help you in the future with your product research, only going to help you more with let's say you're at the stage where now like you don't want to do PPC, you want to hire someone to do your PPC for you. Well, now, I mean, you know what to look for and you know what to explain to them and say, hey, no, that's not the way that or just kind of gave an outline, be like, okay, I want an ACoS of this and I want this. And so now you can kind of talk the lingo. So I would just say, just continue to dig deep through the course, continue to apply yourself. I wouldn't spend the money on, but do attend events. Like events I think are great. Like we just came back from the Prosper show in Las Vegas. Those are always great. Like attend events, attend meetings, Zoom calls, connect in the different mastermind groups, like our ACE group, which is, I hope all of you are on that. It's our Jungle Scout page. So it's along with our, the Freedom Builder Bootcamp group. I would connect with, let me see, let me get you guys the exact domain. What I have here. 1 second. But don't spend the money on a coach. I mean, you have, this is what I'm here. You already spent the money on a coach. This is what I'm here for. Let's see. Yeah, so the Amazon FBA Competitive Edge. Make sure that you're in that group. Just search that in Facebook, Amazon FBA Competitive Edge. And yeah, I think that would work. All right, so the last 2 questions, I guess, should conclude today's call. Saint asks, to calculate my costs, I consider 10% of my total product cost as my PPC and the advertising campaign for a period of 1 month. Would it be sufficient budget to consider? 10% you're saying towards PPC, would that be enough for advertising costs? So probably the best way that I like to break it down is we use a term of like the 3x rule or the rule of thirds. So basically, in a nutshell, very top level, 1/3 of your of the overall like retail price, right? Or overall cost, I should say, would be 1/3 would be your product costs. 1/3 would be like all the fees, Amazon fees and expenses, and then and which would include PPC, and then 1/3 should be your profit. So that would be like a simplified way of looking at it, where so my suggestion there would be, yeah, 10%. In the grand scheme of things would be a good budget. Like 10% would be, so I guess to answer your question very simplistically, yes, 10% would be a good budget for PPC, because we're also calculating Amazon's fees in there, and that 1/3 Amazon's fees and shipping and so forth. All right. Nam asks, can you please elaborate on backend keywords and what do you personally do for the Amazon backend keyword? So backend keywords are, so when you're creating your listing and you go under the keywords tab, you'll see that it says backend, it says backend search terms. They're words that don't appear on your listing, but that Amazon will still index. So when you're using this field, I think you're limited to 200 characters, if I'm not mistaken. Just pulling it off my top of my head, I think it's 200 characters. If you use Jungle Scout and you're in there, you'll see that in the listing builder, it gives you the word count. In fact, I can give it to you right now. I'll give you the exact word count. I'll share my screen here, actually. So let's see this. So when you're in Listing Builder, and you're creating your listing, you'll see here the word count up here, how many characters. So in this case, for your title, you're allowed 200. For your feature, for your first bullet point, 500, second bullet point, 500, and so on. So then all at the bottom, you'll see backend search terms, and you're allowed 250 bytes. So I would just type in my words here. Let's just say we're talking about neck pillow, right? And it starts to kind of tell you how much you have remaining. So I've used up 11 characters out of the 250. Now, very important, you don't want to repeat keywords if possible, if at all possible, right? So if I already have neck pillow as in my title, because that's my main keyword, then I try not to repeat it in the bullet points. I try not to repeat it in the description. I try not to repeat it, in the backend search terms, if possible. Sometimes it's repetitive. Definitely not in this backend search terms, because the backend search terms you're reserving for words that should not be in English and that would make no sense, like almost in the English language. So it might be like something like, like fuzzy, right? Like maybe for some reason I find that fuzzy neck pillow, is a common word, fuzzy, and then parties, or travel, I don't know. I'm just spitballing. So like I just continue to add words that really, they're not phrases. And I don't add a comma in between them, no commas, just a space. And in the end, this is going to be a long string that makes no sense, but to Amazon's algorithm, they are going to index you for those keywords. So, and then I might even throw a Spanish, definitely throw a Spanish keyword. The Spanish word for pillow would be almohada. I don't know if my spelling is correct, but almohada. And so see, like this makes absolutely no sense, but to Amazon's algorithm, it makes 100% sense, because it's seeing all the ties that's in your title, your bullet points, and so now it indexed you for almohada, pillow. So yeah, throw that in there as well, and throw in a couple Spanish words for your main keywords in the backend search. Like I said, this is only found in the keywords tab of when your list, where you go in and you add create your listing, and yeah, it's just this long strand of words that you want to target that wouldn't make sense to put. Like I'm not going to put almohada in one of my bullet points. It wouldn't work that way. Cool. And it says, so Nam asks, thank you for your mentorship. I wish to pay you back someday for your help. Do you put your exact phrase inside the back end keyword? You can. Ideally, you'll want to put your best performing keywords if they fit in your listing, like in your bullet points, all the better. But if it just makes no sense, like I said, anything that makes no sense, just put it as a backend search term. But that it's being searched. Like it's being searched, it just makes no sense to put it in your listing, and don't repeat them. If you have so for example, you have neck pillow, and you've already used pillow, then you could just put neck inside of the backend search term. It's going to make the association, the correlation in the grand scheme of things. So with that, everyone, looks like we're at the top of the hour. It's always fun joining you all here, and love the questions. You're always, it's always phenomenal to hear from you all and see you all continuing in this journey, this Amazon SEO journey. Keep in mind, there's going to be ups and downs, but in the end, you just want to continue moving forward. You want to progress. You want to advance. Life has a funny way of getting in the way, and if this was easy, everybody would be doing it. But at the same token, we're here for you, to support you in whatever capacity we can, and help you through this challenges that every entrepreneur encounters. Think about Elon Musk. You think that like building spaceships is easy? No. So definitely building a spaceship, building a private label product, a lot easier. Our learning curve is much easier. So yeah, just keep that in mind, and keep keep crushing it. And we'll talk soon. Take care, everyone.